Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk with Helen Lingard, and I'm back again. And I'm delighted to have my special guest, Regina van der Velden. And Regina and we kind of met online several months ago because Regina used to live in New Zealand with her husband, who is from New Zealand. And so we connected that way. And then I've been following Regina ever since. So, Regina, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me here.
You're welcome. Please tell us a bit about yourself and what brought you to this Business Empower Network.
Well, I'm originally from California, and I was living in New Zealand for 5 years, which is actually my home base. In January, my husband and I left New Zealand and started our Walk the Earth journey. So we're basically traveling for 2 years. Actually started out just for 1 year, and then when we started traveling, 6 months ago, I said, can we just make it 2 years? Just because we're having a blast and we're just going all over. We want to do this before we really settle down back in New Zealand, so it's been great. And last April is when I got into Empower Network. It actually took me a while to decide what I wanted to do because I was deciding between Empower Network and another company. And I knew I had been searching for a few months because I was really sick of being at work. And it wasn't so much that I hated my work. I thought I hated my work, and I thought that I hated being around the people that I was around. But, looking back at it now, I think it was more that, I was working 60, 70 hours a week, sometimes 6, 7 days a week. And I was in New Zealand for 5 years, and, I haven't really explored New Zealand. So there were so many times where I was sitting at my desk thinking, wow, life is passing me by. I can't, I've been here for 5 years and I haven't really done anything. Usually when I have holiday, I go to a different country, but I, didn't even really know too much about New Zealand. So I was like, I have to do something about this because when I started really thinking about it, I met my husband, who was my boyfriend back then, and I was thinking, in a few years, I want to be able to spend time with him, and when we start having kids, I don't want to be working. And there is a term for a lot of the wives, because I used to work in a male-dominated industry, and there was a word for the wives. They would call them widows because they would never see their husbands because they were always at work. So I knew that I had to do something about it because I was really sick of letting life pass me by. So I was looking at different opportunities, and I ended up sticking with Empower Network because in the end, it really resonated with me, and it gave me something that I didn't have at my current situation, which was the support of the people and just the support I needed to be successful in what I do. So I started doing it part-time for about, so I guess from April to December, and it was actually October of last year where we decided to just leave New Zealand because I knew I wanted to quit my job at that point, and I said, this is the perfect time to leave because we're newly married, we eventually want to have kids, we're not that young, we're not getting any younger, so we might as well just go do it now and then come back to New Zealand. So right now I'm in Prague with my husband, who's out jogging right now, and we're having a blast now. So yeah, we're going to the States again in a couple months, and we're just going to keep on going until we go back to New Zealand.
And I just remembered I remember now because we Regina and I chatted a bit online before I knew. I think she was in Empower. And I remember you used to work with Peter Jackson, didn't you, with the Lord of the Rings? Isn't that what you did, the TV work?
Yeah, The Hobbit. Yeah.
Yes. Wow. So is that what brought you to New Zealand in the first place?
Yep, it's what brought me to New Zealand. In 2008, end of 2008.
And when did you meet Mike? What year did you meet Mike?
I don't remember. 2.5 or 3 years ago. I'm not
so you've
sure.
been traveling since January, is that right?
I left New Zealand first, the end of January, and then Mike met me a couple weeks afterwards, and yeah, we've just been traveling since.
And what did, yeah, and just to tell people, I stuffed up here. I should have had Mike and Regina on, but it's just because I've been chatting to Regina. I said, "Oh, come on, she's a girl, whatever." But we should have had both of them. So we'll have another hangout and have Mike on, because I'm love to hear about Mike. One of the great things about this business is the personal development products, and Regina was just sharing with me how she's seen a transformation in Mike, and that is such a huge part of this business, because until you've transformed, that's when the success happens. It's when so I'd be really interested to talk to Mike. So tell me, what do you love? What do you love most about Empower? What's kind of keeps you here? What do you love most about it?
Well, I think at this point, everything about it keeps me here. But initially, like I said before, part of the reason why I got into it was because I knew that I was going to get the support that I needed, which is what I didn't have at my last job. It's different levels of support, but I think I was at a point where I really needed someone to say, hey, okay, here's what we have, just follow this system, and then go through each step, and then come back to me when you need help. I think what really keeps me here now is, I said everything, but I'll just explain that a little more. Obviously, the support, the people that were around are absolutely amazing, and I can't, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about that. I can't really describe it in words, but you have all these people from different backgrounds. You have accountants, you have lawyers, you have artists, you have dog trainers, and we're all here for one goal, or one main goal. We're all on the same path. So let me just give you an example. When I was in Miami, or even in New Orleans, there's a group of us that get together and stay in a house for a whole week. And you think, 30 or 40 people in a house, that's just stupid ridiculous. You're going to be in each other's faces, you're going to get in each other's way, and everybody's going to yell at each other because, we're on each other's nerves. But it's not even like that. It's the weirdest thing. It's, when I was in Miami, I was thinking, I was still for a moment watching everybody go by, and I was like, I can't believe we've all been in each other's spaces for a whole week, and everybody's just still happy. Because we're all working on our dream together. We have that support. We have the education that we need. And it's not even just the education that we have, but it's the collective learning and the collective desire to not only be a better person in yourself, but to help others be a better version of themselves. So it's very profound, and I think it's, a lot of what we learn here, of course, there's a lot of technical information, but like Helen said, there's so much personal development that we get that you don't learn in school. There's a lot of videos that I've been watching lately, well, all of them, and I'm like, you don't even learn this in school. Why don't we teach some of this in school? So, it's very different. Very different mindset.
Yes, and they should. I'll just share an example. It was so interesting because I've been on personal development journey for about 7 or 8 years, and my kids laughed at me with it, the stuff I come out with. But it was interesting because I'm a great one in attitude. If you have the right attitude, and I've learned this from people years ago. And my son shared a story the other day. He'd gone to the supermarket, and when he walked in the supermarket, there were these group of lads outside who were looking rather intimidating. And he said he thought of me and just had his head up and confidently walked in. And he said they didn't bother him. And he expected them to be waiting for him when he came out, and they didn't. And he said, I thought of you because I thought, attitude, keep your head up. And I just thought, yes. And as you say, they need to teach that in schools, because a lot of kids just don't have the confidence, because it's not a subject, but it needs to be, because it makes such a huge difference in your life when you have that.
I think that when you concentrate on yourself and you develop yourself and your confidence, and not necessarily being selfish, you have to be selfish in a way, of course, but I think when you start with that, you're building your inner strength that will let you go through anything in any area of your life, not just in business, in your personal life. And just like what you were just saying, somewhere in the middle of the street, someone's giving you crap. Just knowing how to handle that and not even let it bother you at all is such a big thing that I wish everyone would learn.
Yeah, and one thing we have part of this business, and I just want to to actually reiterate what Regina was just saying, because I went to Charlotte event, which was the last one they had, and one thing, it blew me away, because one thing that's fantastic is you have all these people there, and as Regina said, we're on the same path. We all want to help people, and we're all on a journey ourselves. And it's just amazing. There's no other place you go where there's a group of you and you're on the same path and you're all positive and there's no negativity. And it's like a big, to me, it's like a commune, and you just want to be with them all the time because it's just so fantastic. But this afternoon, I was actually listening to we have an Empower Hour here on a Monday, and I was listening to last week's, and Elena Fraga was saying there, how you've got to work on yourself almost more than you do on your business, because working on yourself is so important. So yes, just that I can totally see what you mean by just the people, and especially with a group of 40, but just amazing. So what do you say, Regina, when people ask you about the business, when they ask you what you do? What do you say to people?
I think it really depends on the person. Usually when you meet someone, you have an idea of how their personality is and some of the things that they might be interested. But generally, I tell people we show others how to create a business online around their passions. Or if you have a small business, we have a system that allows you to get more online presence. So, and people ask a bit more. I just say, well, we basically do internet marketing, affiliate marketing. But I think most of the time, the way we do attraction marketing, so what we're doing is we're actually selling the lifestyle. But there are people who really want to know the nitty-gritty, like what is it you do exactly. So, and Mike's actually better at answering that, but he basically says, okay, well, we have digital products, which is digital products that teach you how to market online. So basically it's an online university that teaches you how to market anything you want, not just our stuff. And if you don't even want to sell, if you don't even want to leverage the products that we have, then you can use it on your current business or whatever idea or service you want to promote.
And so do you do it separately, or do you do it all together? I mean, do you both talk to people separately, or do you kind of do it? Yes, go on, carry on, sorry.
Both. Yeah, both. I mean, right now, and I hope you do get to interview Mike at some point, because I talked about his transformation. So the stage that we're in right now is he's really developing his sales funnel with his target market. So right now, a lot of it is separate. But sometimes it's together, especially if we're around people in person. We do it together. It depends.
And what is who are you marketing to? What's your target market, Regina?
Originally, I was travelers. Obviously, people who want to get out of their 9 to 5. Originally, I started marketing to the visual effects and the animation kind of area, because that's what I know really well, and I know what it's like to be in an environment of working really, really hard. But it's actually kind of changing now, and I'm redoing my sales funnel, and I'm going to gear towards athletes, because I'm not a professional athlete myself, but I really like working out, and that's kind of the way I want to head towards, because there are some goals that I have, athletically, that I want to achieve. And so I feel like if I, surround myself with people who are like that, then it just excites me a bit more. So
I've seen you doing headstands in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
And what's Mike's target market? Who's he what's his niche?
So travelers as well, but what he's really concentrating on now is the audio industry, the music industry, because he was an audio engineer for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
And, just being in the entertainment industry in general, you get really burnt out. And he's had a lot of experience in that industry, and he can really talk to the people who are going through what he went through.
Oh yeah, that's really good. That's a really kind of good place to be, to talk to people who've been through when you've been through what they're going through. So what's your goal? What do you want to achieve in this business, Regina? What's your big juicy why?
Other than my $1 million ring.
I should actually just say to people, because if people don't know, basically when you have a goal in life, a big why, because when you're going through anything, when you're trying to achieve anything in life, you're going to get your knockbacks. So having that big juicy why, and some people say your why is going to make you cry, keeps you going. And that's why, I mean, an example I always use is Edison when he, invented the light bulb. It took him 10,000 attempts to get the light bulb, and that, that you could see he was so determined. So that's what your why is. It's a reason you're doing something, something that you'll do. You'll push through walls, you'll climb over mountains, you'll do whatever it takes to achieve your goal. So that's what I'm asking Regina. Sorry, carry on, Regina.
Yeah, I definitely want to get my $1 million ring. Well, I'm going to get it. That's not necessarily my why, though. My why, originally it was because I didn't want my life to pass me by, but I think now it's more family, being able to spend time with family, especially, and I know that you can understand this, Helen, because my family is in California, and just I have this vision of my parents sitting on an airplane in first class, really enjoying life, because my dad is 71 and he's still working, and my mom's had a series of health problems over the past the past year or so. So I really want them to enjoy their life, and I really want to be with my sisters and my husband, while everybody's around, because I've been away from home for maybe a decade and a half, and it's hard being away from family.
Absolutely.
So,
yes. Yeah, well, that's exactly, because one of my whys is to spend more time with my mother, who's in the UK. So I can totally appreciate what you're saying there, and I don't know whether she'll come out here again, because it's a long journey. She's 81, so I really want to go back there and spend more time with her. So I totally agree. And what's Mike's why? Although I should save that for when he's on the call. I'll save that for when he's on the call. And so, what's your biggest achievement, both in life and in the business, Regina?
Oh gosh, in life I'm not sure. I guess just being here is an achievement in itself, and I think as far as the business, I mean, I've had 4-figure days, but that's not really my achievement. I think my achievement is getting my head right.
Yes.
I know that, yeah, in my family, and to some of you watching this, you might think it's silly, but like we said earlier, we talk a lot about personal development. But I know in my family, with my sister, one of my sisters was diagnosed with adrenal fatigue syndrome, and so there's a lot of stress in our family with the women. So one of my sisters said, before you get married, get your head right, because that'll help you go through, your marriage and in life in general. So I think my biggest achievement is, well, not only leaving my job, but it mainly does start with my head, because if I didn't get my head right, I wouldn't be able to realize that I can leave my job and that I can live, an alternate lifestyle. Which, incidentally, this alternative lifestyle is kind of the lifestyle I think that everybody deserves to live. Absolutely. So, just really quick, going back to my why. This isn't really my why, but I tell everybody, my dream now, because we're already pretty much living our dream life, traveling around the world. But our dream really is to help others do the same. So, that would be next on my list. Well, that's what we're doing now, but it's such a big. It's another achievement that.
Absolutely. I say it's a journey, not a destination. So you're doing it already. Yes, absolutely. So what tips would you give people who may be just starting out on this business, or maybe they're struggling and they're not quite sure why doing it? So what tips would you give? What was your breakthrough, and kind of, well, sorry, I'll let you answer that first one. What tips would you give somebody who's just starting out, or maybe somebody who's struggling?
So we're assuming that whoever I'm talking to right now has already signed up.
Yes. Or even just anybody who's really seriously thinking about it. I mean, the answer would be the same for any of those people. Somebody who's really seriously thinking about it, to somebody who's just started, to somebody who's struggling. What would you say to somebody?
I have a couple of answers for that. One of them is, if you're looking into getting into something, if you're looking into joining Empower, follow your instincts and talk to a lot of people. There are a lot of people that say, it looks like a scam, and what is this all about? Talk to people who are in it. Talk to people who are successful. look at the leaders and see what they're doing and what they're achieving. Follow them, get on their mailing list, listen to what they have to say, talk to the person who's invited you, and and really dig in and see and find out why you want to do it yourself, and really think about that, because there are a lot of I had the same reaction too. It was like, this is a scam, this is really stupid, but it's just because it's a different thought. Think about why you want to join Empower, why you want to leave your job or live the life of your dream or whatever. And yeah, really talk to people, because a lot of people are misinformed, and you don't really, like I said before, what you see on the outside, or I might have just told this to Helen, what you see on the outside is totally different on the inside. When you get on the inside, you're just like, really? I'm like living my dream already because I'm around these fabulous people. So yeah, just dig deep why you want to do this, talk to people. The other thing is, if you're already in Empower and you're struggling or you're just starting, listen to your sponsor, listen to the leaders that are telling you what to do, and go. The reason why there's a system is because it works. So whenever you get, and this works with me, with Mike and I all the time. This happens. If once we stray away from the system and we stop listening to the products, watching the products, and we do what we think is right, what we do because we know it all, that's when our results go down. And once we're like at that point, we're like, okay, nothing is working right now, so we need to go back to the products. And once we go back to the products, we get results right away. So when you're in Empower, follow the system, talk to your sponsor, follow the leaders. It works.
Yes, absolutely. I'd also say there to yes, find the people that resonate with you. Yeah, ones, because not everybody, you can't please everyone, not everyone please you. So just find the people that resonate with you. And as Regina said, get on their email list, because you find out what they're doing, and it's just great. That's such a good tip. And is there anything else you would say to people, Regina, about this this business? Anything else you'd like to share?
Gosh, I think
I've got a question for you. Sorry, another question for you. What books do you read? I mean, because I read, the only books I read these days are empowering books, and I have them on my phone. What books have you read? What books do you recommend?
the new Psycho-Cybernetics. Obviously, Think and Grow Rich. I actually listen to the audio almost every single day. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Gosh, there are so many.
No, yes.
4-Hour Work Week. I read a lot of technical books too that are related to the industry, but I think high on my list are the books, that self-development books from leaders. Earl Nightingale. I follow Earl Nightingale, and Napoleon Hill. I listen to Tony Robbins. Everything, because they know they have the answer, and they always have a secret, but there's really no secret. You're the secret. So you just need to take action.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Regina. That's been fantastic. Anything, like I say, anything else you want to share before you go?
No, I just wanted to thank you so much for having me on here. I really appreciate it, and it's been really good. It's been really good having to talk to you, and it's really good to actually see your face and converse with you in person. But
absolutely. And do apologise to Mike, and tell him I will, because I'm really keen to hear about his transformation. I will organise to have him on another day.
Yeah, please do.
Yes, take care, Regina. Great to talk to you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone out there.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.